One of the requests that we get over and over again is, Leah, I've got some tools out in the garage. I want to sharpen them. How do I sharpen my chisel? How do I sharpen my plane blade? And I've got a few knives I want to sharpen because it's deer season, okay? So today's video, I'm going to show you how to sharpen all that stuff. You're going to want to run out and buy a stone right away so you start sharpening the knives in your kitchen and the tools in your shop. Let's get started. Here's the thing. When it comes to sharpening tools and knives, you can really go down the rabbit hole because there's so many different ways to do it and everybody's got their own method. And then some people like one kind of stone, some people like another, some people use the stones in combination. So I'm going to try to keep it very basic for you. So let's get started with the different stones. So the three most common stones are oil stone, water stone, and diamond stone. Okay, so first up is what's called an oil stone. You use this stone in combination with oil. Now, there are natural stones like this one here. This is an Arkansas stone. But there are also synthetic oil stones called India stones. Oil stones, they've been around a long time. It's the traditional way of honing a knife, okay? Your dad probably used an Arkansas natural stone. But here's the downside. It takes a long time, I mean a long time, to get a nice sharp edge with a natural stone. Next we have the water stone. Now water stones are both synthetic and natural stones, but we're going to be talking about synthetic water stones. That's what this is here. So water stones have become really popular with woodworkers, and here's why. They're much faster than oil stones. So a water stone, you submerge it in water first. And then you continue to use water during the sharpening process because what it does is this. There's something called swarf, okay? And that's the metal filings that come off the tool or knife that you're using. And the water helps float it away. Just like when you're using an oil stone, you use oil to help those metal filings be removed in the process. A water stone tends to cut and sharpen a lot quicker than an oil stone. Well, that's an advantage, but guess what? It can also be a disadvantage, and here's why. These stones wear out very quickly compared to the oil stone. You'll develop dips and unevenness with the stone, and from time to time, you're going to have to take a flattening stone to flatten out the surface of the water stone so you can continue to use it. Okay, so the last stone is this right here. It's what I prefer, and it's called a diamond stone. Now, the diamond stone is really considered a more modern stone. What I like about it is it cuts very fast, and it retains its flatness. Unlike the water stone, you have to worry about taking that flattening stone and flattening the surface. Well, not with the diamond stone. You don't have to worry about that. It will retain its shape, and not only that, it lasts so much longer than a water stone. Now, if you look really close, the surface is covered with tiny, tiny diamonds. So a diamond stone is really good. It's really fast. It's what I prefer, but the downside is it can be a little pricey. This one stone cost me $60. So let's get started with some sharpening. So let me show you my setup before we get started. I've got a 2x4 here, and I've got it clamped to my work table. Now, I've got this little holder here set up to hold my stone so that when I'm working on whatever tool I have or knife, I know that it's not going anywhere. It's stable. Okay, so this is a dull knife. Let me show you how dull it is. It's not going to cut. I'm going to start off with a medium coarse side of the stone, this side right here, because what it's going to do is it's going to remove a lot of material quickly, and then once I got it shaped the way I want, then I'll flip the stone over to the fine side, that's this side here, and I'm going to refine that edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just wetting my stone. Now what you may want to do is get a spray bottle and just spray it because it doesn't take a lot of water. Now what you want to do is you want to take the hill of the knife right here and you want to place it at the back of the stone. All right? You also want the cutting edge facing out. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the blade angle at 20 degrees. Now 45 degrees is easier to visualize. So what you want to do is you want to set that blade at about 45 degrees and then you want to cut it in half. And that's the angle you want to start sharpening your knife at. But here's the thing. You want to make certain that that blade's edge, okay, the entire length of the blade comes in contact with the stone. So the process is going to look something like this. Like a curved motion. Now keep in mind that the motion is not in the wrist. You want to lock your wrist. The motion is with the arm. Keep a stiff wrist and try to make it as fluid as possible. So some people like to go in the same direction 4 or 5 times and then come back 4 or 5 times in the other direction. Some people like to go once and then come back once. Go once and come back once. All right, here we go. Heel back, tip at 20 degrees. And then I'm going to just move forward. So now you're probably wondering, well, when do I flip it over and start using the finer side? Well, what you have to do is you have to hold your hand and feel for burr. That's what you want to know. You want to feel that burr underneath the blade, because what that tells you is that the material is being removed away and it's leaving a slight burr, and now it's time to refine that edge by using the finer side of the stone. And it's the same action on the finer side of the stone. Now just remember to make the same number of passes on each side of the blade because you want to keep it even. Now I think it's pretty sharp, but let's do the paper test, right? Well, that's pretty good. Next I want to show you how it works on tools. This is the blade from my plane. Now what I'm going to do, because this is pretty dull, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my blade flat on the stone. The flat side is, of course, the side that doesn't have the bevel on it. It's just flat in the back. But I'm just going to flatten it up a little bit, okay? So I'm going to make a couple quick passes. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to get the bevel edge. So what I need to do is I need to set it on my stone and find bevel. Once I find it, I want to put my fingers close to the tip of the blade, apply pressure, and I want to keep my arms nice and stiff, that wrist. And I'm going to make tight circles. Okay, got a little bit of burr. Now I'm going to flip it over the fine side of the stone. Start off flat again. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to find that bevel just like I did before. Okay. I've got my blade back in the plane. Let's see how well I've sharpened it. And this is what you want, nice and sharp. You know what they say? They say a sharp tool is a safe tool, and that's really true. Hopefully I've shown you a few things that you can do to sharpen up those tools and get those knives nice and sharp up in the kitchen. Now, like I said, it's easy to go down the rabbit hole with all the different abrasives and techniques and all like that, but hopefully I've given you a brief overview to get you going in the right direction. Now, I want to hear from you. If you have a technique that you like to use, well, share with the community. Tell folks, hey, Leah, I do it this way. This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.